Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the law of attraction, manifesting success stories show comes in. If you are ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this episode. I am your host, Cassie Parks, and I am back with Mia for another in her Years of Growth series. Welcome, Mia.
Nice to be here, Cassie, as always.
It's awesome to be here. What's awesome in your life? I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Today is July 30th, and it's my half birthday. So Tracy and I do a lot of celebrating around birthdays. We've already got it pretty much figured out, so we get to celebrate the whole year, one or the other of us. So
that's awesome.
Because we're in our 50s, so we each get a quarter for our birthday, and then we celebrate our half birthdays too. So we get another quarter, and so you're pretty much celebrating. One person, gets to celebrate year round, and you're celebrating with that person. So that's really cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that system. That's amazing. So awesome. Well, let's talk about, we had talked about sort of this getting your puppy a couple episodes ago, and just fill us in, like what's happening, what are you seeing and realizing and feeling as you go through the process?
She is just such a great dog. She's fit in with our family here, our little pod of two moms and another dog. So she's fit in really well. We love her so much. Everybody loves her. She ran into a little bit of an issue. We were having her spayed, and the surgeon, who was board certified, was really checking her out beforehand. They really checked her out, and she noticed that she had an overbite, and she still had her puppy teeth at this time. So it wasn't really an issue, but when her adult canines can't come in, it could be because she could hit the roof of her mouth and actually cause bleeding and all kinds of things that would be not very good. And she said, keep an eye on it. And if you notice anything when the adult teeth come in, you got to do something about it. And so we located a couple of veterinary dentists. There's not very many of them, but and the one we really wanted, we actually got into just at the right time, just when her canines came in and she was just starting to poke, the roof of her mouth. And it's about 40 minutes away from where we live, but it was such a professional practice, from all the reception people to all the technicians that work there, and the anesthesiologist and the board certified veterinary dentist, really just great people, but it was going to be $8,000. They said it up front, it's a big deal. We charge your credit card. If there's a little bit left over, we might refund you some. And I mean, we didn't even hesitate. We just did it. And so she had to get knocked out a couple of times to put the appliance in, take the appliance out, and one time to have a really good check in between to make sure everything was okay. And she just came through with flying colors. She was good with the drive. She had gotten car sick a little bit beforehand, but she got really good with the drive. So she's a great car dog now. That's another benefit. I was using a water pick on her, or water flosser, every day on the dog to keep the dental appliance clean. And she was such a trooper. She loved it. Liver does a lot of things for when you're training your dog. So she loved it every day. We did that. And she just came through like a trooper. And we ended up getting like $1,200 back because she didn't have any major breakages or setbacks. And it was just such a good experience. And we know it's another reason. I mean, we already knew Cassie, that she was sent to us, our little Hattie dog, because we had lost our previous shepherd very unexpectedly right before Christmas. And we came upon Hattie just luckily. And we got her, and she's been so great. And so we know that our previous shepherd kind of sent her to us. And we know now, especially, Skylar didn't just send Hattie to us because we needed another dog and a great dog. She knew that we would be, among the few people on the planet that would take care of the situation, her issue that she was going to have. Basically, the breeder that we got her from said, hey, we'll take her back and you can trade her in. But knowing breeders, because we have family that breed dogs, we knew that she would just get put down because she wouldn't be useful to anybody. Breeders don't breed pets, really. And so we said, no, we're keeping her. We're really attached to her. And she ended up refunding all but like $500 of the money that we spent to get her. And I thought it was really fair. She really stood up, she was willing to do anything, understood why we would want to keep the dog. Mm-hmm. And so it was just a great experience. And talk about the universe setting things up. It couldn't have been better. Were there, little times when you're a little bit more concerned and worried and how things are going to turn out, but everything turned out just perfectly. And everything's fine now, adult teeth. She's 9 months old, coming along really great. And it's great. No setbacks at all. No side effects left. So it's really wonderful.
Yay. That's amazing. What an amazing story of just, like you said, getting the right dog because you're going to take care of her.
Yeah.
Right. And not, and you can do it. Right. And some people might really want to, but it wouldn't have been an option,
Yeah. And the practice that we went to, they turn away people. They can't take all the people that they get. There's, they do a lot of things, dogs get hit by cars, they have issues with all kinds of things, and they can't even, it was lucky that we even got in. We even got a chance to see. So, all of that just fell into place. Yeah. I can tell you, I don't know. Some time ago in my life, $8,000 for a dog, I don't think so. I don't know if I could even do it, but
right.
It's not a problem, not an issue, and not a second thought.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's amazing for everyone.
Yeah.
Yay. I love that. Awesome. Well, speaking of money, let's talk about your trade that, as you quoted to me before, came back from the dead. So I'd love to hear this whole story.
Well, I do trade options, and options have expirations. I'm usually in the short tenor, about 2 weeks to expiration for most of my trades. One trade went very well last week, but the market has really gone very far south. One of the indexes that I trade went especially far south, end of last week, and even yesterday, Monday, was going south. And my trade was it went south so quickly that my losses were big right away. So, but I knew I had just a feeling that things were going to come back, that there was going to be a big comeback. And sure enough, that very index today came back by over 3% and brought that trade right back from the dead. And, so going with that intuition that it's going to be okay, even though expiration is Friday. And as soon as you get to Wednesday, you start getting little text messages and emails from your broker saying, hey, we got this big contract expiring, this Friday. You better do something about it. So I didn't even get to that point with this one, and it's all turned out well.
Yay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Another win for trusting the intuition in the trading game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love that. Any other growth or ahas that you want to share with us today?
Just everything is going well, falling into place. And the feeling of not having to push, not having to hurry, is just that simple thing is so valuable. Tracy's been helping, my partner has been helping some of our neighbors. She's involved in a Map Your Neighborhood group. She's a co-captain, in case there's an earthquake or in our area fire. You work with like 20 other houses, and people get their contact information, and you find out, if there's an elderly person or couple that might need extra help, or maybe there's a plumber who could help with something, all of that kind of thing. And she's always helping our neighbors, and just today she was going over to help somebody with their irrigation that they had installed. And she said, "Hey, is it okay if we put off lunch?" And of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Because there's no reason that we have to have lunch now.
Right.
Absolutely no reason that we have to have lunch right now. You can take 40 minutes and go over to our neighbors, help them out with their irrigation. And it's great. And all those things are like that. And it's surprising because I've been in business for myself for a long time, and Tracy's sort of been retired but doing everything else. And you can still get into that mode of, things have to happen at a certain time in a certain place and this fast. And it's just not true. And you end up getting more stuff done, feeling better about it, and just being relaxed all day, and so just that whole general feeling has been really great.
That's awesome. Do you have any advice to someone who's like, that sounds great, but how do I do that?
Well, you have to trust, and to trust, you have to learn how to trust. And I think that's where coaching really can be so helpful along the line, because a lot of people say they trust, but you can tell from the outside looking in that they don't, and then you see people, for example, like other members of the Enchanted Circle, and the people who've got it there, and you can see them just work towards it. And it's something that once you have it, it becomes really visible. And you also know when you're sliding away from it a little bit. So it's having some guidance, and then lots of practice, of course, too.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's not an instant like, oh, today I'm going to be trusting, right? It starts a little bit, and then a little bit, and a little bit more, and a little bit more.
So, right. That's exactly right. Little bits.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome advice and guidance, because it's so important. Everybody just wants it now, which is sort of the way they've been doing things, right? Do it harder, faster.
and that's why, that's why it's hard to trust. I mean, people don't understand, if you're in that mode, it can't happen from that place. It can't just happen from that place. So.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. Well, this has been a fabulous update. Anything else on your heart or your mind that you want to share today, or?
Not really. I would say the other thing that's been really good, I think, is communication between Tracy, my partner, and myself. That's been really good. And that's another area, Cassie, where you not only pushed in one particular instance to help us work through stuff, but it's also helped us look into other ways that we can improve our communication always. And there's always this, one of the really cool things I see is that there's this idea of a tennis net, and it comes across a lot of different ways. Some people put it, you say something to your partner, that's a bid for some kind of reaction. And there's been a lot of research done that says, if the reaction comes back positive, it's really good. If the reaction even comes back kind of negative, you've still been heard. If it goes off into another subject or there's nothing, that's not a very good sign, Right. So, and then the other tennis net thing that I've just recently started learning about is interpersonal interactions, especially when there's feedback involved. There's the intent, the behavior, and the impact. And the idea is one person has control of their intent, one person knows what their impact is, and the behavior is the part where you can agree. But when you try to get to the other person's intent without having them say what their intent was, or get to the other person's impact without them telling you how it's impacted you. So those kind of things. And, that's the other thing I want to say just in general is the Enchanted Circle's opened up so much more. It doesn't just always happen in the Enchanted Circle. So much does happen there early on, but you just keep growing and growing and growing. And the right stuff, the right kind of teachings and learnings and books and stuff just keep coming your way. And it all just keeps building. And that just feels so good as well. Feels really good.
Yes. Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you for sharing that, because it's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to lay the foundation and then be guided and attract what you need for your own personal path, because it's not the same as everyone else's. It's not a set of textbooks that I give everyone to read. It's open to what you want and let that come in. And so I love hearing that, because that's the way it's supposed to be and works best, right? Than handing out a bunch of the same textbooks to everybody and trying to teach everybody the same thing.
Yeah, because more than half of it is you have to be ready. I mean,
yes.
you could have handed me all the books, all of the learnings in the very beginning, and I don't think I could have taken it 10%. Yeah. And now these things come to me, and I'm able to absorb and utilize so much. It's incredible. It really is incredible.
That's awesome. What are you looking forward to?
Well, let's see. My sister and nephew are coming to visit this Friday. They're only going to stay. My nephew's kind of driving through to see his kids. But we'll have like breakfast together, and then my sister will stay for a couple of days. And then, harvest is coming up, and I actually didn't get with the fire at the one client that I actually am the winemaker for. I wasn't able to make wine last year. It was the first year in like almost 40 years that I haven't made a vintage.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to this one a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. Did you learn anything, or do you have a new perspective because you'd done it for so long and then didn't get to do it for a year?
Yeah, it's been a lot of stuff, so much has happened. It's not only that, but things get taken away. You can see it as that get taken away, but what it really is it gives you that opportunity. It's a real opportunity to look at what is for you and what isn't for you. And sometimes what was for you 10 years ago, a year ago, isn't for you anymore, and it happens on so many levels. Certainly that the winemaking was definitely that way. It's what do I really enjoy about it, and what could I leave behind, and it just clarifies. It clarifies so much so that you can really devote your energies to things that you want and you love doing, and you can find ways to peel off the other stuff,
That's awesome. I love that. And that seems like a fabulous place to wrap up. Thank you for sharing. I love it. We get to hit dogs, wine, and money and relationships. I love it. It's the perfect interview. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you so much, Mia, for sharing this moment in your journey with us.
It's my pleasure. Absolutely. I love it.
Yay. I love it too. It's such a wonderful time. And thank you all for listening. Make sure to come back and check out what's awesome next time in Mia's life.
Thank you for joining us on the Law of Attraction Manifesting Success Stories show. To learn how to attract more money into your life, go to your favorite book retailer and order Cassie's book, Manifest $10,000.